Oh yeah, 80 years ago today, Prohibition, the 14-year ban on the sale and production of alcohol, was repealed.
New York celebrates. For the first time since that bleak January morning 14 years ago when the great drought struck the big town, the Gay White Way is itself again. The greatest amusement center comes into its own.
Bleak day when Prohibition went in and the great day when Prohibition was ended. So how are you celebrating today? That is our Twitter question. Your answers will be on the bottom of the screen. I saw a few Ron Burgundy references, Scotchy, Scotch, Scotch. And as we head to now, Shmaltz Brewing Company's Jeremy Cowan, who is also the president of the New York Brewers Guild. Jeremy, thank you so much for being here. It's hard to believe Prohibition even existed, but of course it did.
True.
How are you celebrating today?
Wonderful. We're the New York City Brewers Guild is really excited. We're having our fundraiser tonight at Brooklyn Brewery.
Perfect.
Just in a few hours, so people should come by. And we're doing a fundraiser for the Guild. It's all the small breweries in New York City banded together as a nonprofit to promote great craft beer. And then we have the New York City Beer Week, which is the last week of February, first week of March. So we're having a wonderful time.
Most of the crew here are a big fan.
We look forward.
So they take off. They're off that week, funny enough. Tell me about your company in particular, how it got going, and,
Sure.
and why did you get into it in the first place?
Yeah, well, I started Shmaltz Brewing Company 17 years ago on the West Coast in my apartment, and 17 years later now I'm the founder of both Shmaltz Brewing and Hebrew Beer, but here in New York, Coney Island Brewing Company. And so we have Coney Island beers that are based here in New York City, and that's my group with these wonderful brewers from New York City. There's 14 members, and it's a really exciting time for great craft beer.
Fascinated. Beer and the Jewish religion. Do they really go hand in hand?
Well, the bumper sticker was always that, Jews don't drink beer. But that's been actually a total fiction, and it's been a wonderful Hanukkah this year. We had events all over the country, and we sell our beer, Hebrew, the chosen beer, of course, in about 35 states around the country. And it's a great way to celebrate the season.
I'm sure starting in your apartment on the West Coast, it wasn't easy to get going, and for any small business, but what advice would you give to someone out there? Yeah,
well, small breweries right now are very popular. There's more than ever, and it's really wonderful. Great quality beers, incredibly passionate individuals. The New York City Brewers Guild is growing like crazy, and New York City craft beer is growing like mad. And so wonderful, new, passionate young people are getting involved. It's really hard. There's a lot of competition, whether it's for financing or real estate or just consumers. And so, I don't know, it's about passion and creativity and having a unique angle and making great beer, of course.
Well, of course, and you're putting in all the hard work, but what about the state of the economy? How's it impact you? Are people down in the mouth so they drink more, or?
Well, it's interesting, they say beer is recession-proof, but that's actually not the case when it comes to the big beer world. The big beer world is struggling, but the craft beer world is succeeding, and it's growing at about 10 to 15+% a year, every year for many, many years in a row right now. And these are small businesses. It might be 2 or 3 guys in a basement, or it might be maybe 100 people, and once in a while a little bit more than that, making these wonderful craft beers from breweries here in New York City, which is very unusual to be able to brew in an urban setting like New York, with its own challenges and its own opportunities. And then there's guys and men and women all over the country that are just excited and really want to make it work.
How many employees do you have?
My company, Shmaltz Brewing Company, we built our brewery in upstate New York just this summer. It's in Clifton Park, New York, and it's got 20 employees, which is twice the number we had last year. Wow. And so we're growing, and we're really excited. We love getting the beers into people's hands and being able to... It's a very
competitive field.
It is. It's competitive with the big companies, of course. Yeah. And it's also competitive because there's 2,500 small craft breweries now in America, which is more than ever, even before Prohibition. So that's a really astounding statistic, and 1,000 of them opened in the last 2 years.
Wow. Well,
it's a great sign, though. It's a wonderful time for great craft beer.
And congratulations to you for getting to this point and continued success.
Thanks so much. We look forward to having everybody for New York.